Hello everyone, it's Lauren J. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I like to do get ready with me style videos using products that are new to me, or just need a little bit more love in my collection. Today we're going to be inspired by the 2025 Pantone Color of the Year, and we're going to be using products that all need much more love in my collection. So if you want to see how I get inspired to use those products, please keep watching. Pantone has chosen its 2025 color of the year, and it is Mocha Mousse. I loved the latte look trend. I love my 90s browns. I have taken a look at Pantone's website for color of the year, and I've decided to get a little bit of inspiration. Now, when I say inspiration, we're not going to be copying color palettes exactly. We're probably going to be mixing warm tones and cool tones and neutral tones, because I'm not a color I'm not good with color. I just do what I like to do, but I do want to get inspired by what Pantone has put out there, and we can do that without having to go and buy all the products that Pantone has collaborated with, because there are quite a few things. If you scroll down to the bottom of that page, you can buy Pantone Mocha Mousse post-it notes, you can buy Pantone Mocha Mousse tea, and yeah, just you don't have to go buy all that stuff, but you can be inspired by it. So let me look at the website and show you what I want to get inspired by. Here is Mocha Mousse. It is Pantone 17-1230, and of course we have this beautiful. And don't mind the noise. My neighbors decided that it was Saturday and they wanted to redo their roof, and I have a holiday party that I have to go to at noon, so I have to film now. Obviously we have a big cup of mousse there, and it says capturing a global mood of connection, comfort, and harmony. Look, I can get behind comfort and harmony and global connection. Before their little blurb about Mocha Mousse, it says, for 2025, the Pantone Color Institute selects Pantone 17-1230 Mocha Mousse, a warming brown hue imbued with richness. It nurtures us with the suggestion of delectable qualities of chocolate and coffee, answering our desire for comfort. I can get behind that. I need a lot of comfort. I need a lot of comfort and chocolate and coffee in 2025. I can already tell. Let's see, they have a couple of color palettes here. They have this sort of monotone color palette, relaxed elegance color palette. But the one that I am really inspired, I mean, and that one is very beige mom, and if that's your aesthetic, I get it. The one that I want to get behind right here is the Floral Pathways color palette. It has cornflower blue, it has rose tan, it has warm pale greens in it, it's got a yellowish green in it, it's got a beautiful white color, pink almost gardenia, and just a lot of beautiful gray tones, and it comes across again as a mix between cool and neutral to me, and then it does have like that warm Mocha Mousse color. But I mean, this is every independent color eyeshadow palette from 2019, honestly. I have a lot of these colors in my collection, and I can even show you the colors that I'm going to be inspired by, because I have a lot of them in my Viseart palettes. If you're not into the Floral Pathways color palette, there are a couple of other ones. There is the Uniquely Balanced, which is very pink and purple and yellow and orange. There is the Deliciousness palette, which mixes with those rich berry tones. And then there is the Subtle Contrast palette, which, as a blue lover, I love this. This is also very neutral, cool tone. As you can see, it's got those deep midnight blues, and it's got warm browns, it's got beiges, it's got a lighter blue. It's really pretty. I think this color can be very inspiring, because I think we all have browns in our collection, and we all sometimes struggle with how to use them beyond sort of a latte look or a 90s look. At least I do sometimes. I love it for shading and definition. So we're going to change our thinking on that. And again, if you have a lot of Viseart palettes like I do, it is very possible to get inspired by your palettes. I have this giant palette of all mattes, just mattes that I've taken out and rearranged and put in here from all of my other palettes. And as you can see, this side right here, this more cool tone side, a lot of these shades are from the Petite Cool Mattes palette. And so you do have those beautiful grayish blues, you do have those more subdued tans, you do have the lavender purples. I don't have any greens in here, but I do have greens in other places that I can go look at. But then you also have your beiges on this side, on the more warm and neutral side. You have lots of options here. So if you are a collector of Viseart like I am, there are definitely lots of options that you can pull from. There are lots of options from the Étendu palettes as well. These are a bunch of the mattes that I've pulled from the Étendus. You can see all of these wonderful shades of tan, beige, and brown. I think they're really lovely. Lots of things to get inspired by. And then of course there are a myriad of shimmers in these color palettes that go with the brown, the bronze, the copper, the near golds. All of those would work really, really beautiful just for a little bit of shine and a little bit of pop on the inner corner or in the crease. And for greens, I don't have a ton of greens to pull from. Green is a very, very popular color for a lot of people. People love their swampy greens, and I get it, but it's just not something I've ever been drawn to. So I do have just a few options in my Viseart palettes. I have this one, these couple from the Koi palette. This is the Petite Shimmers Koi, and I have this middle row right here, which they lean a little bit more gold, yellow flashy, but they do have those green tones in them. So I would say this one maybe a little bit too vibrant, but these two definitely would work with those palettes again as a pop on the inner corner or a pop on the lid. I think those could work really, really nicely because they do have those gold tones to them. And then if you just wanted to stray from the formula a little bit, you have the Viseart Water Lotus, and you've got two really beautiful minty colors in here that are mattes. You've got this one and this one. I think these would both work really nice with a brown and minty color palette. Elf did a whole mint melt collection a few years ago. Mint was a huge thing a few years ago. So if you wanted to go in that direction, that's also something you could do. And as I said, I'm not going to be directly trying to copy any of these color palettes, but I am going to be inspired by it. And I do need a little bit of a quicker look today because, again, I'm under a bit of a time crunch. So I'm going to be inspired by Mocha Mousse by going into one of my favorite palettes of 2024, and that is the Chanel La Quatreaume in Rivage. This was from the Spring Summer collection, and this one is one of my all-time favorite palettes from this year, and it has the blues and the browns and the tans in it. It does have that really sparkly shade here that I'm probably not going to use today, but I do want to use the matte and the tan shades that I never use, and I do want to use a little bit of that blue, probably on the inner corner, and supplement it with some of my Viseart shades. Let's get into this look and be inspired by the palettes that I already have in my collection. And I have just gone and primed my eyes with the Juvia's Place Eye Primer in medium. I have already done my brows with the Chanel Stylo Sourcils Haute Precision in Brun Clair. And I have also done skincare and sunscreen as per usual. I am going to go into a primer. Where's my primer? I am going to go into the Le Beige Healthy Winter Glow Primer in Icy Beige, just to give a bit of glow to my base today. And I realize my hair is just doing a thing today, so just go with it. It's okay. And yeah, let's just go for it. I am absolutely going to start with the brown matte shade in here. And I am just going to, I think, put that all over the lid. We'll start very carefully. But look at that. I think that's really, really pretty. I am all about a 90s brown lip, a 90s brown eye. I think it is a lovely, lovely color palette to work with. And I don't use this matte brown a lot, and it is nice and soft, so you don't have to worry about going overboard with it. And I think if you picked up this palette in the spring summer launch and you struggle to use it, I would just, you know, go right into that nice neutral brown shade and just layer until you're happy. So I think that is a nice mocha base for this look. I am going to go into, where are my mattes? I am going to go into one of my Viseart mattes for just a little bit of deepening and definition. This one right here is Chocolatier from the Paris Love Letter collection. One of the first Viseart palettes that I ever picked up. It's a little bit deeper brown. So you can see, just adding a little bit, not much. Don't want to make this too deep of a look for today. And then just taking another crease brush, a clean one, and blending it out. I think that is just the right amount of contrast that I want for today. And this palette, to me, it reads very matte, but I don't think you have to stick with matte. I think that you can add a bit of sparkle and a bit of shine. So let me get into a little bit of, so I do want to do a little bit of a pop of a blue, and I think I'm going to layer some things to get that. This may lean a very matte look, which is fine if you want to stick with matte. I am going to layer some shimmers over it, but I think to start with the blue, I'm going to go into the singles from the Petite Mattes Cool. I have two options here. This more gray blue, which is called Fog, and this isn't really cornflower, it's called Sky, but it does lean very cornflower and a little bit more blue. These two right here are a bit too midnight for me, so I do think I'm going to actually go into Sky. It is a really, really lovely color. And I think there was another one called Bluebell in that palette, but I think it is in a different palette that I rearranged and customized, and I don't know where that is right now. I am just going to add this to the inner part of the eye. Again, just very, very lightly, just setting it down as a base for something else we can pop over the top. Then I'm going to go back to Rivage, and I'm going to grab a little bit of the blue shimmer shade in here. Now this is not so high shine that it's, at least I hope not, that it's going to contrast too deeply, but I just want to add a little bit of lightness to that blue. And see how that just adds a bit of brightness. I'm just taking the same brush I used for the sky shade and just tapping the Rivage shade over top, just to give it a little bit of brightness. And I absolutely adore this shade. Built Up, it is absolutely a beautiful standalone color on the inner corner. But you don't want it to sort of take away from the mocha color. So you don't want to go all the way over the eye, or at least I don't for this look. And then I'm going to take a bit of that tan shade. This is a nice shimmer shade, and I'm just going to take my index finger and pop a bit on the center of the lid. Just a nice neutral shimmer that connects the two, the brown and the blue. And take a bit and on your pinky and put that in the inner corner. And for liner, I'm going to go into Marin, number 30 from the Stylo Yeux waterproof line from Chanel. Just going to go back in with a little bit more of the brown shade on the outer part of the eye. And I like that. As per usual, it leans blue because I love my blues, I love my navies, but I think it is a really nice way for me to incorporate more brown as the main color into my looks and really use up more of the brown eyeshadows in my collection. So I think this color is going to be very inspirational for me going forward. I tend to be someone who goes for really, really bright colors on my eyes, very shimmery colors on my eyes, but this is a really beautiful, more subtle way to go into the new year, and I really, really enjoy it. Going into base, the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder in number 1. And then for blush, I am inspired by the Rose Tan shade that goes with the Floral Elegance color palette. And the closest thing I could think of in my collection was this little one from Danessa Myricks. This is the Blurring Balm Powder Flushed in Rosé and Brunch. I picked this little sample kit up earlier this year, and it's a really nice, it might be probably a little bit warmer than I'm thinking, but I think it's going to look really nice with this color palette. Just tapped really lightly, not too deep. And then just to go over that a little bit, I'm going to go into my Butter Donut bronzer from Physicians Formula. Haven't used this one in a while, but it is a nice light bronze for me. And then just to take it all down and set a bit, I have my Veil Translucent Setting Powder from Hourglass, the Volume de Chanel Mascara. And to finish up the look, I am going to add a bit of the Diamond Dust Oversized Highlighter from the Chanel Holiday Collection, and that's just because I want to. Then for lips, I'm going to go into a piece in my collection that I have not used in a really long time, but I really do like it. It is called 1990. It is one of these satin lipsticks from Merit, and it is just a nice 90s brown. Okay, not sure how I'm feeling about this hair, but it'll do for now. Anyway, this is the finished look. Again, I'm just trying to be inspired by the Mocha Mousse color palettes that Pantone has put out there. I'm not trying to do a direct copy, so I get it, like the color tones and something might not seem quite right to you. Feel free to interpret these color palettes any way that makes makeup fun for you and makes you feel comfortable. Again, this color palette is all about comfort, coffee, chocolate, relaxing. I'm here for it. I do plan on doing some more inspired looks when I have a little bit more time to think about this color palette and how I want to incorporate it into my looks in the coming year and how it's going to work with products I already have in my collection. I hope you enjoyed seeing this look. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, Any of those would be welcome, and all of them would be deeply, deeply appreciated. And I will see you in the next one.